Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Susanna, and here at Sun Radio, it's Earth Week. We are trying to celebrate by having some conversations, productive conversations with people in the community about all kinds of things relating to positive changes for our Earth. And so we really appreciate you being here today to talk to us a little bit. You are the Senior Public Information Specialist at Austin 311. Do I have that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Awesome. How long have you been there?
So I've been with Austin 311 for about a year and 3 months now.
Nice.
I was previously the social media coordinator. I just transitioned over to public information specialist role.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're so happy to have you here. We thank you so much. All week long, we're having nice conversations. And I just wanted to, start by asking, who is Austin 311 and what role do you play in the organization? I guess you just told a little bit about that, but what does Austin 311 do?
Yeah, so Austin 311 started in 2001 for police non-emergency calls. And in 2003, we expanded to include additional city services. And then in 2007, we became known as Austin 311. So we are actually the first point of contact for city departments with over 200 service requests. And we are 24/7. So we are pretty much the informational hub of the entire city. And we take over 1 million calls a year. So
Wow.
our goal is just to be here for the community, whether that's to give information or take comments and complaints. And if a resident sees something that needs to be fixed, they call 311 and we give them the information or connect them to the appropriate city department. And and then it gets fixed.
Great. Well, that's great. It's like this magical little informational hub that
Yeah, it really is.
for
It's
problem
cool to watch
solving.
all the way through.
Yeah, I bet. I bet you'll get like all kinds of interesting calls too. I can imagine.
Yes, yeah, some of them are pretty interesting.
Yeah, I bet.
We've got bilingual ambassadors too, and a language
great.
line for residents who don't speak English. So literally anybody who is in the city of Austin, whether you live here, work here, if you're just visiting, you can call 311.
That's great. How wonderful that the city provides that service. So, well, great. Well, moving on to kind of our Earth Week theme, I'm curious, what areas of sustainability is Austin 311 committed to? How do y'all fit into the sustainability conversation?
Yeah, so we have several service requests that are committed to sustainability. One of them being our water waste report. So if you see water being wasted within the city limits, you can call to report that. If you see a broken sprinkler, a pipe leak, a water main break, for residential or commercial, you can call 311. Also, anytime you see illegal dumping or debris in the streets, you can call us to make a report, and then we send the service request over to the Austin Code Department. And then we have a similar service request for debris on town lake, and that is just for trash around the banks and in the water.
That's great. That's really great. I think that a lot of people, I myself have at times seen something going, like a broken water main or something. I've been like, wait, what do I do? I feel like I should be, I hate like seeing all that water being wasted. So it's really great to know that there's actually a way that you can solve the problem, by calling someone to report it. I think a lot of people don't know that. So it's actually really great to get that information out there. So thank you for telling us
Yeah.
all the ways that y'all are helping. Every little bit counts. That's what we're trying to kind of highlight this week with making people aware that, certain things that you might take for granted or you might see and think nothing of, they actually make a big difference. So reporting a water main, or a broken sprinkler, something like that is actually pretty important. So
Yeah, it is. And even if you don't need to report something, but let's say that you need some information for like what can be recycled, you can go ahead and give 311 a call. And they ask them, what can I recycle here in the city? And 311 will let you know. So
that is great information. That's awesome. I know that it's funny. I was talking about this with my husband recently. We were trying to decide if this one thing we had could be recycled or not. So it's great to know that, like, you can call this resource, Austin 311, to find out, because it is kind of confusing. Some things say they can be recycled, but they actually can't. And I just read this whole thing about how it can clog up the whole like recycling line if you put the wrong things in the recycling bin. So it's, again, a very important thing to be mindful of.
it is, yeah. Just any questions you have about recycling or, like I said, water main breaks,
Yeah.
things like that. And if you have a question about composting, you can call 311.
Right.
Or
Austin has a composting program now. That's so cool.
Yeah. So literally, I mean, informational hub of the city.
That's great. That's great. So nice. All right. Well, hey, what current initiatives is Austin 311 involved in to support said areas of sustainability? Are you launching any new programs, or y'all kind of brainstorming about new ways to help, with sustainability within the city?
Yeah, so really, other than connecting residents to ways to be sustainable around the city with those service requests, we've always been big fans of recycling in
Yeah.
the office. And then now, since we're all working from home, like many others, we're not driving into the office.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are just some small ways that we're contributing
Sure.
right
No,
now.
that's great. Like I said, every little bit counts. It all adds up, you know? So, well, my last question, I won't keep you too long. We're just happy to have this information here for our listeners. What is an easy way that the community can get involved or reduce their carbon footprint?
Yeah, so the community can get involved by practicing recycling, of course, and then also reporting things like water waste and illegal dumping around the city. Those are all going to be some ways that you can help make an impact and just reduce the overall human
Sure.
impact, on Earth.
Yeah.
Um, and then also for information. So if you're looking for information about, like I said, composting or what can be recycled, just give us a call. We always have super helpful call ambassadors that give really good information. And then we also have social media. So you can connect
Hmm,
with us online on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter,
that's
and
great.
give us a follow. And we're always sharing Austin resource recovery information and Austin water information. So yeah, that's
Wonderful.
a really good way to stay connected.
Nice. So are y'all just Austin 311 on like Facebook, Twitter? If you put that in,
Yeah.
will you find it? Okay, great.
Yes. Yeah. You should. It should pop right up if you put Austin 311
Wonderful. Okay, awesome. Well, you heard it from her. You have this wonderful hub of information just at your fingertips here in Austin 311. If you have any questions or concerns about things that might be going on in your community here in Austin that might be bad for the earth, do not hesitate to dial 311. And Marissa Potter, we thank you so much for stopping by to help us educate people here about how they can help the Earth this week. We are doing our Sun Radio Earth Week all week long. And we want to thank Frontier Bank of Texas and Texas Beer Company for supporting our Earth Week investigation or education, you could call it, here on Sun Radio. This is a fundraiser to support the Sun Radio Foundation. So you can make a donation at sunradio.com. You just click on the green donate button. We actually took quite a hit during the winter storm. So we had a severe solar panel damage. Speaking of sustainability and Earth Week, that's one way that we are trying to help the Earth is be solar paneled, but those solar panels kind of took a little bit of a hit. So we're trying to chip away at $84,000 in solar panel damage. So if you can go to sunradio.com and make a donation, every bit counts. And again, Marissa, thank you so much for coming by to Sun Radio and sharing your knowledge.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. Y'all are great.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too. Bye bye.